Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to another thrilling week of KEW action. As we sit here today, there is only a few more days between this event and the next major KEW pay-per-view, which I'm sure will be an absolute thriller. Without further ado, though, let's get cracking on tonight's action. We have 4 matches in store for you, and we'll kick it off with what's been a rivalry that's been brewing, has become slightly bitter and twisted in recent weeks as Mark attacked the Cyclops. Both before and after his match, taking a real hammer blow to him, attacking him on the ramp and throwing him into the steel stairs, and then taking a chair to him post-match. We'll see here if the two men can successfully make it to the ring this time around. And there's the Cyclops, and oh, hold on a minute, Mark's got James the Cat. What on earth is going on here? What's he doing with him? He's throwing him to the ground. It appears he's already taken James the Cat out backstage, and he's on his way into the ring, ready to get things kicked off and going here. And the Cyclops and the Mark going at it, trading blows furiously already. The ref's not even rung the bell, push him out the way, and they both go for each other. There goes the bell, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness me, why on earth was Mark coming down the ramp with James the Cat? A hurricanrana from Mark, straight out of the box. More questions to ask about that Mark and James the Cat rivalry potentially coming later, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Cyclops and Mark, some early tangling there as they got in the ring together. And now the Cyclops slapping the life out of Mark the Magnificent. Has him there, a nice headlock, maybe trying to put him to sleep. Mark punching his way out of it. Looked like Mark was trying to run for the top turnbuckle there, but the Cyclops caught him in a short area and has headbutted him to the ground at the back of his head. Picks him up by the tummy, launches him onto the ground with that twisting throw that he has, the twisting toss, and he's already stomped the life out of Mark. And it looks like Mark might have been in a bit of trouble here. His head sustained some damage and there's some blood on his head, definitely. I'm not sure if the Cyclops has been using some brass knucks that nobody saw him sneak into the arena. He's up on the Cyclops having his shoulder and introduces that damaged face into the turnbuckle. And of course, the Cyclops here lifts him up by the tummy again and drives him down into the mat. The Cyclops was of course assaulted by Mark last time around, and now he's perhaps looking for a measure of revenge, not happy with Mark's attentions to him before he even made it to the ring. And they definitely need more questions about what James the Cat did backstage to Mark for him to warrant coming out with him beaten and battered, it looked like. Oh, the Cyclops there, the big elbow to the back of the head of Mark the Magnificent, and he's rolled out of the ring for a little breather. And he appears to be trying to build something up here, the Cyclops. Oh, just about made it over the ropes and dives into him on the outside. Didn't like he had the elevation. Mark's up swiftly though, only for another few punches in the guts and kicks, and the Cyclops is taking absolutely no prisoners here. He's really taking it to Mark, and now ramming that head into the floor, into that soft padded floor that's not got a lot of give to it, ladies and gentlemen. It's only concrete under there, and a nice chin drop there from Mark to try and swing things. Oh, and he's introduced him to those steel steps again and says, you enjoyed him so much last time around, have another go on him. He's got him by the head here, and where's he going now? Oh, a few swift elbows from the Cyclops. Mark taking far too long to decide what he was going to do with him. And now the Cyclops has hold of him again. And I thought he was going to throw him in the ring, but he's not content. He's beaten the life out of him, and it looks like Mark might have actually been knocked unconscious there. A real, lackluster as it says, definitely that. I think Mark lost consciousness. And the match seems to have gone down as a non-starter. Perhaps Mark was unable to compete anymore after being brutally assaulted, really, by the Cyclops. And that'll be an interesting one at our pay-per-view in only a few days' time. And we're in our second match for the evening, where we have Atomic Andy and the Firefighter taking on Big Bird and the Assassin. Of course, the Assassin and Andy locked in that spring roll rivalry, and Big Bird and the Assassin wasting no time to get into the ring with the tag team champions. Giving them a bit of a beating there already, but they're back up and ready to go, and it's these two men in the ring who really hate each other. Oh, and there, like both of them missed, but the assassin maybe coming off the worst. Oh, what a huge German suplex from Atomic Andy. He's almost launched the assassin across the ring. The assassin up now, though. And Andy, a swift kick to the guts. He's got him by the throat here. It looks like he might be going for a bit of a ride. Oh, no, just a big punch to the guts. Now switches his attention to Big Bird and climbs onto the ropes. Both men going for each other on the outside now. I'm not so sure it was wise from Andy. The Big Bird's got him up, and drops his face on the apron. The assassin minces his way over to the firefighter. The firefighter casually watching on from the apron, and now looks like he might be getting a stunner from the second ropes. But Big Andy's back in the ring and has hold of the assassin whilst he was paying attention to the firefighter, who's now back up on the ropes and ready to assist his tag partner. And it looks like Andy might be trying to put the assassin to sleep there with a little shoulder massage, perhaps. Stomping on the arm, trying to weaken that hidden blade potentially, and launches him into the other corner there by his head. He's now dragging him into the centre of the ring, maybe making sure he can't get a rope break. That was indeed his intentions. We get a 1 count, and the assassin comfortably kicks out. It doesn't look like either man is content to make a tag just yet. Big clothesline there. Andy's got hold of him and massive choke slam. Oh my goodness me. The assassin might already be in trouble here. The big man dealing out some punishment. And now both men get tags in. In comes Big Bird and in comes the firefighter. And the firefighter gets a nice crossbody there straight onto Big Bird. The assassin still hasn't made it out of the ring yet after his absolute pummeling early doors. And now Scott looks like he's switched his attention for a minute there, distracted by the assassin. Looked like Big Bird might get back into it, but no. He's straight back on it, the firefighter. A vicious kick to the spine there. And another one for the CEO of the company. Quite wide. And another third in the row. My gosh, he really sees that spine as a weak area that he can attack. He's going to tag the big man back in. Quite why the CEO decided to align himself with the assassin. We're still trying to figure that one out. Maybe he just thought to himself he wanted to have the clash of the yellows in the ring. As Andy gets Big Bird up onto his shoulders, carries him into the corner, drops him face first onto the turnbuckle. Now Andy climbing back out of the ring again. I'm not so sure he needed to, really. Now he's climbing back in. He doesn't really know what he's doing. And Big Bird, gives him a shot to the face, the firefighter. Looks like he's going to now... Drop him as a powerbomb. And Andy gets an axe handle smash in. A horrible powerbomb from Big Bird to the firefighter on the edge of the apron. You can see the firefighter really feeling the effects of it. And as Big Bird's launched back into the ring by Atomic Andy, who is happily at a 3 count, and here comes the assassin, who's regained a bit of stamina there from being out, and now jumping around on top of him. Massive spring DDT there, and a big moonsault there off the canvas. And he's up though and ready for more for what the assassin has to offer him. Whips him into the ropes. The assassin, nice hurricanrana, goes for the pin. 1, 2, the firefighter slows again in the ring. It's rolled back up to Andy though, and then rolled out of it. Andy misses his little kick there as the assassin gets back up and hurricanranas him again. And now sensibly tags in Big Bird. I think they're taking their time to work on Atomic Andy and really work down the big fella. They know if they can take him out, that the firefighter might not be much of a problem afterwards. They've got Andy at the moment trapped in that corner. Up he goes. That's a big man to be going that high up. And look at the power on display from the CEO, ladies and gentlemen. Has him comfortably up in the air. I'm not quite sure about the hold on the head. One-handed. Look at that. Oh, my goodness me. The blood must have drained to his head. But he manages to get a kick in somehow. And another one, and a nice shot to the back there. It looks like he's wandering over for the tag. He's probably a bit slow and eventually gets the tag in. The Big Bird, though, has turned his back to the firefighter. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there. He allowed him to get right back into the match. Now the firefighter's give him a nice hip toss, sit down there. And the firefighter now able to gain control as Big Bird, perhaps a little bit of arrogance coming in, tags back into Atomic Andy. I'm not so sure Andy will have wanted to get back in that soon. Shows off to the crowd as Big Bird slowly getting back to his feet. Andy goes for the hit, misses it, and there's a big shoulder charge there from Big Bird. As I say, I'm sure the firefighter probably would have Or Andy would have preferred the firefighter to stay in the ring a little longer, but went for the quick tag. And now, Big Bird's giving it back to Andy. Goes for the pin, the firefighter's in, breaks it up immediately at a 1 count. I think otherwise he might have been in a bit of trouble there. And he's definitely feeling the worse for wear during this match so far of the 4 contenders. Tags in the Assassin, who's had plenty of time to rest here. Oh, and a nasty cheap shot from the Assassin there. And the Assassin's up. Oh! Delivers the Assassin driver. Goes for a pin. 1, 2, 3. The firefighter didn't want any part of the business. The Assassin gets a much needed win in their rivalry just before we hit our next pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. A nice high five there between the 2 competitors, and perhaps we're starting to see now why Big Bird managed to team himself up. He managed to potentially get himself a title shot by matching up with the Assassin. As we'll find out next week, ladies and gentlemen, whether the tag champs will be putting their title on the line in KEW's second pay-per-view of the season. We move now to really what is more than anything a rankings match in the mid-tables. The Ploughman taking on the Shinigami, the Battle of Monsters. The Ploughman, of course, still with his briefcase that he's yet to hand in. There it is. He lifts it aloft and says, "I've got this. I might be coming for the title any time, any place, anywhere. You'll never know when." Showing it off to the crowd. When will he cash the Money in the Bank in, or the HMV Steelbook exclusive? Only time will tell. Tangiers, though, must be living on the edge. The champion, of course, not featuring in today's KEW Live, given the week off to rest up for the big pay-per-view event ahead. There he is, the Ploughman, ready to go. Here comes a competitor. The Demon, Shinigami Walker, brought back to life. A la Frankenstein makes his way to the ring. We could be in for some demonic surprises in this match, ladies and gentlemen. It could be a real slobber knocker for us. This one, of course, as I mentioned earlier, more to do with rankings than anything else. But the big fella's been on a charge through the KEW recently. He'll be looking to firmly cement himself within the top 5 of the KEW. Which obviously sits a Tange at the top currently. Somewhat surprisingly, previous to tonight's events, Atomic Andy was second, but I feel like he'll be replaced swiftly by the Spyclops who dealt with Mark. Then the reverse of either of those. In 4th place is the Ploughman, I believe, and in 5th, Mark himself, whose rivalry with the Spyclops has done him no bad to push himself higher up the tables. The Shinigami, though, will fancy himself able to maybe potentially push himself up a few spots here if he can get a good win. Oh, and the Ploughman already with a swift hit to the face there. And oh, and a cheeky, massive clothesline. That's a big fella to be whipping round like that. He's come out firing here. Flying knee to the face there as well. The 2 masked men in the ring. Oh, and a nasty knee there from the Ploughman. He's dishing out some English homework for him as he dives over that knee again. Nasty. Trying to weaken the legs perhaps of the Shinigami in that base. There he is, giving him those hush puppies to the face. The Shinigami whips into the corner. Oh, gets his feet up though. There's some size 14s when you go have some of these. Oh, massive clothesline. I thought he was going to take the Ploughman's head off there. The Ploughman's straight back up though for more punishment. And the Shinigami's picked him up and slams him in the turnbuckle and throws him across the ring, tossing him around like a scarecrow. Now rubbing his face into the mat. And a big elbow across the shoulders. Trying to weaken the back perhaps of the The Ploughman. Oh, a cheap shot there from the Ploughman. Looked like it might have been below the belt. Oh, speaking of below the belt, that kick was a bit low as well. Up goes the Ploughman again onto the shoulders, and down on the ropes he comes this time, choking the life out of him, trying to wind his opponent perhaps. Stomping on the knee and the groin. Another stomp there to the knee, trying to weaken the Ploughman's base. And it looks like the Shinigami was fiddling with his mask there, trying to perhaps bring some power from those horns on his head. He gets the Ploughman up and takes him to the corner. Oh, introduces his face to the turnbuckle, and a cheap shot there. And picks him up and massive power slam out of the corner. Goes for the pin. The ref a bit slow in. Just a one count. I can't help but feel that would have been a 2 had the referee been paying attention. And the Ploughman's rolled out of the ring, and the Shinigami's gone for the top rope. Oh my goodness me, massive body splash from up there. Goodness gracious, that's a large man to be flying from the top rope there. And the Ploughman though recovers well and gets a hush puppy to the face, but only momentarily for the Shinigami to then take control with a savage knee and a big brutal beating on the outside. Furious fist to the face of the Ploughman. And the Ploughman now might be the better technical wrestler of the two, but that's got nothing to do with brute power. When you have the sheer power of the Shinigami, nothing can stop him really. He's building up something here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's got hold of him. And oh, a nasty elbow from the Ploughman gets him out of it. And the Ploughman now kicks him in the guts. Gets the knee, the foot on the back of the head and drives his face into the mat. Goes for the pin. The Ploughman to sneak it. 1, 2. Oh, just a 2 count. The Demon's not going down so easily. He's got a bit more life left in him yet. And the Ploughman flinging his arms and legs around in the air, trying to get some support from the crowd. Oh, nasty elbow there to the face of the Shinigami. The Shinigami pushes him off and is up now. Off the ropes. Oh, big back drop. And that's a large back to be dropping on you. He's a big fella, the Shinigami. Not the biggest in the KEW, obviously. Atomic Andy comes in as the biggest. Oh, nasty knee drag on the hush puppies to the chest. And a nice stomp to the face. The Shinigami may be the 2nd or 3rd tallest athlete in the KEW. Obviously not the widest either. I don't know, goes to our largest man, Fat Gav, at 600 pounds. It looks like a... Oh, I thought it was going to be a neck breaker, but he's turned around and elbowed him in the back, and look at that, he's disrespecting him, and the Shinigami says, disrespect this on your own time, lad. Oh, and drives his chest into the knee there, winding the Ploughman. The Ploughman caught with his back turned though. You don't disrespect a demon, that's for sure. And back in he comes. Little punch there from the Ploughman, caught the Shinigami whilst he was trying to get back in. And oh, he dives off the rope and stomped him in the neck there. And again the Shinigami, or the Ploughman, sorry, revelling in the crowd and then booing him. Oh, and that nasty hush puppy to the back again. And the Ploughman taking his time, working the ring. He's climbing up to the top turnbuckle. He fancies something big himself here. He's asking for the Shinigami to get up. The Shinigami slow to his feet. Here goes the Ploughman. Oh, flying through the air. Like a flying slap out of nowhere. He managed to connect with it just about, I think. It wasn't the most elegant looking. Oh, and here the two competitors having a slobber knock going. Oh, the Shinigami's got a hit in. The Ploughman's got a couple of hits in. A nice slap there. And another hit there. And now the Ploughman's maybe back in control. He looks a bit woozy here. The Shinigami. A chop there. Oh, and the hush puppy to the gob. And the boos ring out for the man who's got the steel briefcase. And he's dragged the Shinigami into the centre of the ring. And now the Shinigami tries to get up. Oh, and he's driven his face into the mat. The Ploughman goes for the pin. The ref doesn't know what he's doing. He's all over the place. 1, 2. Oh, and the Shinigami gets an arm up. That took a lot out of Shinigami though, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, having his face driven into the mat, and I think he's about to get it a 3rd time. Surely if he goes for the pin, he won't kick out now. The ref's down much faster. 1, 2, 3. The Ploughman takes it. Oh, the Shinigami had been on a tear, but the Ploughman puts him in his place, delivers his face into the mat. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's got that steel briefcase. He's a dangerous, dangerous competitor. It looked for a while that the Shinigami had him all sewn up. Took too long to get back in the ring. The Plowman regains control, and after driving his face into the mat 3 times in a row, well, it was nothing but if not over by then. We'll move on to our final match for this evening. Now, 14th edition of KEW Live. We have a table match with the BFG and Miss Tash, 2 of the lower down competitors. Neither one of these people has got a win so far in the KEW. Some would argue that this is potentially a complete mismatch, having the heaviest and the lightest competitors in the ring together.
The following contest is a tables match.
Miss Tash will have to watch out for those rhythmic hips though. She'll have to make sure that she doesn't fall in love with the BFG whilst also in the ring with him. He does have that charismatic sex appeal that the women love. The men hate him, the women love him. The KEW's big fella. And here he comes on his way to the ring. Roundly jeered and booed by the men in the crowd. There you can hear the women in the background screaming, oh yeah, they know what's coming next. Here comes the little hip shake. Whoa, lovely, just what the crowd wanted. Just what the women love. The flex as well. Here it comes. The crowd boo. The men are not happy. The little shimmy. Such raw sex appeal we've never seen the likes of in the KEW. Perhaps an athlete who fares better with a female audience than the male audience. Perhaps Miss Tash will get a bit more of the rub of the green from the crowd.
And his opponent.
Here she comes.
England, weighing in at 100 pounds.
With an Adam Who's sash. It's Miss Tash. Showing off the moustache there. Points to the crowd and taps her belly, maybe mocking the big man in the ring, saying, look at your tummy, mine's nowhere near the size of that big fella. Need to get yourself down the gym. You can see the crowd much happier with Miss Tash than they were the BFG. Neither competitor so far has, like I mentioned earlier, got a win in the KEW. So it'll be interesting to see if any wrestler can get any sort of momentum out of this one, as Miss Tash does a trademark slow roll into the ring. And is then up into the turnbuckle, pushes back the hair and shows off that Tash. She's ready and fired up. He had a few weeks off from the KEW, I've not seen her in a while. Perhaps she needed more time to mismark some English homework, get some spellings incorrect. Or perhaps she was simply surrounded in a room full of Adams and couldn't find the exit. Didn't know who to ask to get out. And here we go then, the BFG locks up immediately and immediately has her up on the shoulders. This is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, a tables match. So the first person through the table will win, and the BFG is wasting no time at getting stuck into Miss Tash. Here, massive powerbomb. The poor little lady. And now he stares, oh, and stomps her square in the guts or chest. We're not sure. She's so tiny, it's hard to tell. And he's going for it again. Another firm stomp there. The crowd won't like this one, seeing the big man beat the life out of the poor little lady. Flicks the table down. Has it ready. Throws it to one side, though, as he sees Miss Tash coming. Picks her up now. And now, oh, she's reversed it. Oh, reverse DDT. Well done from Miss Tash. And there we go, that loafer to the face. A nice soft sandal. Oh, and a drop kick to the back. Picks up the BFG. And launches him back into the ring. She might have been wise to grab a table whilst she was in the ascendancy there. And maybe try and get a bit more action going. A few chops there. Lifts the knee. Oh, firm kick there. Trying to weaken the knees of the big fella. If you take his knees down, then she'll know that with such weight that his weak knees are supporting. He'll just crumple like a paper bag as he drops her to the floor there. Now the big man's back out of the ring. I think he's going for the other table. He is indeed. Flicks down the sides on it and again tosses it to one side. Miss Tash showing off to the crowd. I don't think she's realised the BFG's back in. Oh, nasty. Whips away her legs and introduces her face to the turnbuckle. Now he's got hold of her by the hair. Drags her onto the ropes. And then picks her up and he's got her in a nice bear hug here. And tosses her outside the ring. Well, Miss Tash is lucky that table was folded down already. If that had still been up, I think he might have put her through it there and it would have been an end to the match. Launches the table at her. Wow, fuck out here. Not happy at all. He's not doing his English homework. He throws the table again. Well, it looks like he missed that time. And stay down, Miss Tash. She gets a table to the chops for her troubles there. The BFG showing off to the crowd. No one's happy with this wanton assault and battery that we're getting. Picks up the table. And Miss Tash dodges it that time around and the table skitters to the floor. Big fella to pick up there. It spins him round for a big spine buster on the concrete. And maybe Miss Tash now can get a bit of momentum going. She threatens to punch him and he looks like he ran away from her there, trying to get the table, which is now morphed into the crowd somehow. We're not entirely sure how. That's going to leave us with only one table left, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Tash looks like she's going for it. The BFG's come up behind her. She's just seen him at the last minute, perhaps on the Tycotrons, but it's not going to matter. Maybe it will. She manages to reverse him and get a little DDT in there. The BFG straight back up though, picks up Miss Tash. And now, slams her back into the apron as she slides off it there. That must have been a painful one. BFG picks her back up, now whips her into the ring, climbs back in the ring himself. We've got one table on the edge of the apron. Now, she managed to get a big soft shoe in the face there. The BFG left wondering what day of the week it is. She climbs out of the ring. I think she was going for the table. She's got it now, but the BFG's followed her out there and manages to get hold of her and introduce her face to the edge of the ring, and a swift kick there as he nimbly hops over the steps and is now going under the ring, perhaps looking for another table. He's got a steel chair instead. Well, that's not part of the match. But he's giving her the steel chair anyway. Steel chair shot to the back, and again working the legs now, demolishing Miss Tash. That steel chair crumpled from perhaps that first impact where he smashed her in the back with it, launches her in the ring. And now he's climbing back into the ring himself. Neither competitor seems terribly bothered about the table at the moment. The BFG climbing back out, and now back into the ring, perhaps a little confused about what he needs to do in this match. Back out he goes. Miss Tash showing off the guns. The BFG back in the ring. Only to get a soft chew in the face, but it does nothing to him. A slap and a punch though, that does a bit better. Blocks another hit. Gets another one in. But the BFG's managed to get the assault back on the way. And a big chop there from Miss Tash. And now the two exchanging blows wantonly. And here comes the BFG with a few more hits there. And a disco clothesline just for good measure. Gets the table now from the outside. Now perhaps the BFG wants to put the match to bed. No! Throws the table to one side. He decides he wants more punishment inflicted perhaps. No! Back out of the ring. He's decided after all he does want the table. He's a man who's conflicted. Throws the table down out of anger, seeing that she's back up in the ring. Miss Tash now back out of the ring. She's looking for the table. She's got the table. The BFG's up in the corner. The table's finally making its way into the ring, into the centre of the ring. In comes Miss Tash. Now the BFG's running away. Goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, these two don't look like they want to fight. They're just showing off to the crowd. Wow, well, what a poor match for the fans to enjoy. This one has not lived up to the hype. Miss Tash trying to get the table up. The BFG interrupts her though, and the table now in the corner. She's calling time out. And whilst he's pointing and saying what's she doing, she's taken advantage of it, whips him into the corner, and a big clothesline there, and collapses him to the floor. And perhaps now Miss Tash can actually get the table set up. She's got it in that corner. This could be dangerous for the BFG, although she's got back out of the ring, realising perhaps that she was in the prime position for the BFG to splash her through the table. The BFG showing off his weight and might as Miss Tash waits in the corner for him. The two lock up, and the BFG now has hold of her, and rams her back into the steel barricades there that keep the fans away. He's picked her up again and has got her over her head, and slams her spine into the concrete, and a big elbow drop on the outside too. And now Miss Tash looks like she's in trouble. The BFG pulling a table out, hopefully from under the ring. There it is. Now what's he going to do with it? He's sliding that table into the ring, whilst Miss Tash is still out for the count on the outside. He's now taking his time as Miss Tash is getting back to her feet. The BFG making sure he's got time to get the table where he wants it. Well, he's not looking, he's just holding the table. Now he's got the table in the face. And Miss Tash is down. The BFG posing with the table, showing everybody that he knows what to do with it potentially as he launches it at her and it almost goes skittering out of the ring. And now he's up on the top ropes. Oh, massive elbow drop from the top rope from the BFG. And all of a sudden, Miss Tash is in big trouble. The BFG looks like he might want to go for it again. Can't quite figure out what he's meant to be doing in this match. Points at Miss Tash from outside the ropes. Gets the table up eventually. Goodness me, and launches it at her again. I don't think he's quite got the grasp of the fact that he's meant to be putting her through the table, not just throwing the table at her over and over again. Poses with the table and again tries to throw it at her. Miss Tash back up again here though. Now she's in trouble. She's whipped into that table in the corner. The BFG has her, gets her up, and could be a powerbomb through the table, and that ends the match. Ladies and gentlemen, the BFG has his first win after just about figuring out what to do with the tables. He maybe was a bit confused by the fact that he didn't know whether he should be eating off the table. There it is, the rhythmic shake and the shimmy. Oh, the fans love it. They were singing "This is awesome." The women, you can see her in the front row, that one lady, she really loved that. Oh, now Miss Tash on the floor. He's given her a full view. Oh, here you go, he says. Come see me later backstage. Goodness me, what a way to end this edition of KEW Live. Not the greatest I think we've had on the cards, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we'll make up for that next time around with our next pay-per-view event, which promises to be an absolute classic.